Michael Saylor is famous for his support of the adoption of Bitcoin in the financial world. His company, MicroStrategy, stands out as the largest institutional holder of Bitcoin despite facing heavy losses due to the recent price drop. Earlier this year, Saylor stepped down from his position as the CEO of MicroStrategy to assume a more crypto-focused position. He's a well-known advocate for crypto adoption and is always tweeting about Bitcoin and its future prospects. In an interview at CNBC, while speaking out about the recent FTX implosion and the ripple effect that this has had on the entire crypto space, he reiterated that the recent event shows the strength of Bitcoin and exposes how fragile other cryptocurrencies are in comparison to it. He stated that Bitcoin is more regulated as a commodity, unlike other digital assets that are unregistered tokens trading on unregulated exchanges. Speaking at another interview with Yahoo Finance, he stated that the collapse of FTX and FTT represents a corrupt crypto bank collapse fueled by inflation and the public fear of crypto. Would this be the end of crypto? What will happen to Bitcoin? And is this a good thing for the crypto ecosystem? Let's listen to Michael share his thoughts on this. But before we go on, quickly tap on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get real-time news updates on the finance and crypto world. Are you done? Okay, let's dive in then. While Michael is clearly a strong Bitcoin evangelist and hasn't failed to voice his opinion on how crypto is messing up the ecosystem and how this current crisis may start the much-needed cleansing and overhaul required, many have criticized Saylor for his recent tweet in praise of Sam Bankman-Fried. In one tweet, he wrote, "Sam created 1,000,000 Bitcoin maximalists." Another crypto enthusiast, Mario Romero, responding to his tweet, pointing out that while people like Saylor could praise Bankman-Fried for creating crypto maximalists, he tends to forget that the downside of this is that the maximalists promoted centralized protocols instead of decentralized finance, or DeFi as it's called. Mario tweeted, "Maximalists were the ones promoting centralized venues instead of DeFi. Sam defrauded a lot of people that listened to them." However, we must be aware that Mr. Saylor was not in any way siding with SBF. In fact, he's compared him to Jordan Belfort, popularly known as the Wolf of Wall Street. Belfort was found guilty of stock market manipulation in 1999 and spent 22 months in prison. Mr. Saylor insists that the crypto crash and the troubles in the crypto space might be a good thing for the market and the future of crypto as it accelerates regulatory intervention. We will recall that in August 2020, MicroStrategy acquired 21,454 Bitcoins at an aggregate purchase price of $250 million. Sadly, the company's stock has declined by about 35% amid the Binance FTX saga. But despite all of this fiasco, Michael Saylor still thinks that Bitcoin will be the winner. In another interview with CNBC, several Bitcoin traders and holders are trapped in a dysfunctional relationship with the entire crypto ecosystem. He goes further on to explain that the collapse of FTX was due to a lack of transparency. According to Mr. Saylor, he maintains the position that if a company holds cryptocurrency assets, then they shouldn't be anybody's liability. Saylor agrees that Bitcoin provided the needed transparency, unlike the FTX token FTT. So it's clear that the American entrepreneur is optimistic that the ongoing calamity may be a blessing in disguise, as it will speed up the much-needed implementation of the necessary rules and regulations needed to regulate activities in the crypto sector. Continuing in this direction, Saylor says that with the regulation to be put in place, Bitcoin will be the winner because Bitcoin is a digital commodity and it's the least controversial of everything. He claims that the regulations could lead to greater adoption of digital assets as more traditional financial institutions may be lured into the space as well.
If there is a progressive regulation, then I think you won't see 20,000 tokens, you'll see a handful, dozens, but they'll be properly registered tokens. The industry is going to grow much more rapidly. And ultimately, we're moving from the entrepreneurial stage where this was a Wild West offshore, where anything goes, to an institutional digital asset stage where the big players like Bank of America and Fidelity and BlackRock and the Goldman Sachs and JP Morgans are going to enter this space, and we're all just going to grow up, and the world is going to benefit from that.
He further goes on to warn against forceful and aggressive regulatory laws in response to the FTX's implosion, stating that it will harm the industry and may even destroy the confidence of crypto traders who are yet to recover from the crisis triggered by FTX. He confirms that there's a need for a clear strategy by regulatory bodies on how the crypto activities can be regulated and the steps to come into compliance.
Regulatory intervention of late has been all negative, like enforcement, but the marketplace is waiting for the regulators to say, this is how you register a digital currency, this is how you register a digital security or a digital commodity. And instead of saying all the crypto exchanges should register, we need to get the crypto exchanges registered because the future of the industry is registered digital assets trading on regulated exchanges where everyone has the investor protections they need, and the investors in general understand the difference between Bitcoin and a stable coin and a security token.
He went on to predict that the crypto industry will soon move to an era where big institutions and even countries will enter the BTC's ecosystem, which will definitely boost its development and price. Despite the low prices of BTC in recent times, Saylor still remains confident despite the prolonged bear market, and his firm belief that its valuation will skyrocket in the years to come remains unwavering. His company, MicroStrategy, purchased an additional 301 Bitcoins on 19 September 2022 for $6 million at an average price of $19,851 per Bitcoin. With this new purchase, MicroStrategy now holds 130,000 Bitcoins acquired for $3.98 billion, which were all bought at an average price of $30,639 per Bitcoin. He emphasizes that the current meltdown of the crypto ecosystem is educating a new generation of mainstream journalists, mainstream investors, mainstream regulators, and policymakers. And he remains optimistic that the regulation to come will stop the scam and self-dealing associated with crypto, and will also provide a framework that will enable people to be able to understand the differences between an ethical, economical, and technical asset from an unethical, uneconomical, and untechnical digital asset. Mr. Saylor, speaking on his next move in strategy, reiterated that he's betting heavily on Bitcoin's bounce back as more institutional players are getting into the space, as well as the cleansing that the regulation will bring. He recently tweeted that with the recent happenings in the crypto space, he was beginning to feel like a Bitcoin veteran. And this may be true in some sense, because aside from his company holding about 130,000 Bitcoins and yet having an unrealized loss of about $2 billion, the American entrepreneur has witnessed 3 cycles of boom and bust in the crypto space. While at the Pacific Bitcoin Conference, he mentioned how he has survived 3 of Bitcoin's boom and bust cycles. He also mentioned that although many people think that those who got into crypto in 2020 got it easy, Saylor pointed out how easier it is currently for individuals purchasing Bitcoin in 2022. He said that unlike in 2020, when many people were being skeptical about the regulation on cryptocurrency and how it could possibly get banned, now the question is different, as the government and its agencies are working out modalities for the regularization of crypto and providing the necessary oversight to monitor and supervise activities in the space. Speaking on his goal moving forward, the Bitcoin enthusiast didn't fail to point out how now is a better time to get more Bitcoins, especially for those that may have missed it 2 years ago. He said that the last 24 months have brought mainstream adoption and legitimacy to Bitcoin, and for this reason, he maintains that there's only one crypto asset network that solves the real problem cryptocurrency was designed to solve, which is the easy exchange of commodities and value without an issuer. For him, he's guaranteed that Bitcoin is the only sure commodity, while every other crypto is just securities. While we may agree with Michael Saylor, you wouldn't want to miss our news updates as we bring you exclusive discussions of experts on finance and crypto to help you make informed decisions. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share this video with your crypto community as well. Thank you for watching, and until next time.